How's it going, everyone? I got a suggestion for doing a blogging video on how I'm dealing with loneliness during this COVID-19 pandemic. And so I decided that I'm going to do a little blog kind of describing my loneliness, depression, anxiety, and some of the conditions of my living situation. So I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of detail about my living situation, how it's impacting me, and just the fact that even though we've had to adopt strict social distancing guidelines to keep the spread of this virus from impacting even more people, the fact itself of social distancing is it did not really faze me that much at all. I have pretty much been accustomed to social distancing, and I'm sure many of you out there who have battled loneliness, who don't really have any friends to hang out with, I'm sure you have probably been pretty used to social distancing yourself. And it's pretty bad when you know that you can count the number of times you have given a hug over, say, the past 2 to 3 years. And as far as having any face-to-face interaction or hanging out with people, it's also sad knowing that you can easily count the number of times you've had any kind of face-to-face interaction where you've actually physically hung out with anyone. And so as far as social distancing goes, I'm not having really much of a problem with it. However, that's not to say that my anxiety, loneliness, and depression aren't worsening, because as a matter of fact, they are. And so here's the thing. The only people that I have contact with on a daily basis is my mom and aunt, who are unfortunately on the opposite side of the country. So doing any sort of traveling is out of the question, because for one, I don't want to risk, during my travels getting the virus and then posing my mom and aunt at risk. So doing any kind of traveling, whether it be car or through air travel, is out of the question. So in a sense, I do feel trapped, because that's part of the stay-at-home order as well, as I don't think we're allowed to travel from state to state. But I wouldn't want to do so anyways, because I don't want to put my mom and aunt at greater risk. So there's these feelings of kind of being trapped. And if you don't really have any friends to hang out with, or didn't really have people that you knew, well, your social circle during this outbreak is pretty much limited to those you know really well. So with that being said, if you're a loner, you're pretty much still a loner. And even though you may be used to this social isolation and social distancing, it doesn't mean it's not going to worsen your depression or anxiety or make you feel more lonely, or maybe exacerbate other conditions like addiction, and maybe even worsen PTSD. So just because some of us may be used to this social distancing, it doesn't mean that we're not getting more depressed. Because here's what's been going on. I live in a very small apartment, and I live with 2 roommates right now. And one of them, because he's a student and their courses have gone all online, he really doesn't really spend much time in the apartment anymore. And he was pretty cool, actually. And so he's no longer in the apartment. Now, my other roommate, now that's a different story. And ever since he moved in until about a couple of weeks ago, I figured he was almost a complete replica of who I am. I mean, he doesn't really have much of a career going for him right now. He's missing some certifications. He's struggling. He's unemployed like I am. We're both unemployed. We're kind of at dead ends in our career fields. And of course, with teachers having been laid off or having to go to online teaching, but if you don't have that option, or if you're a part-time teacher, or if your teaching does not have a way of doing it online, well, then you're going to be out of work. And so both of us being out of work, and when my roommate was not working, he was always in his room, door was closed, sometimes open, but he never said anything. He was completely mute, just like I am. I'm completely mute, don't say anything, laying in our bed, watching TV or playing video games. I don't smoke weed or vape, but he obviously does, so he would be in his room. I could see like a big puff of smoke or vape coming out, periodically, and then he would the whole apartment would smell of it. So here I am thinking I've got a complete replica of a roommate of myself, lonely, no friends, kind of dead end careers, not really going anywhere in life. But somehow, as of late, it's forcing me to stare right in the face, and I mean almost every day now, every night, right in the face, what ails me probably the most, and that is the fact that I do not have an intimate relationship. It is something that I have so much desire for, so much want to be in an intimate relationship, but yet it remains more elusive than ever before. And I have the feeling that chances of me ever being involved in an intimate relationship are near zero. I can't say zero because even in mathematics, you can't really ever say anything's 100% or 0% certain. There's always that slight chance, but I'm going to be honest. It's going to take a miracle. It's going to take some drastic action in terms of some therapy, social skills coaching, for me to ever even remotely have a chance of finding myself in an intimate relationship. And here's the thing. This is what's giving me a lot of hope. This is kind of my light in my life right now. Is the career field I'm going into has so many different opportunities. Let me just give you a couple of examples. And these may be examples that give you guys hope out there. I read an article and it was titled something like, why your kids should be data scientists and not doctors. Because here we are, people are always thinking, oh, if you want to make a good career and help people out, a doctor is the way to go. Now, it doesn't mean don't be a doctor. If that's what you want to be, go for it. But data scientists are playing such a role in the medical career field that doctors are oftentimes relying on data scientists to help with their treatment protocols, maybe finding vaccines for viruses. Maybe they're going to be at the front lines in terms of researchers scrambling to find the genetic sequence or the genetic code, looking at past vaccines, past treatments. So any future pandemics that occur, data scientists are going to be hard at work putting all this data into powerful algorithms to figure out what can be done as a vaccine or potential treatment. Or data scientists are being involved in the healthcare treatments of, say, patients with cancer. What's the best, based on all the data that's coming in, what's the best treatment based on a person's given age? What comorbidities do they have? And so data science is becoming such a powerful tool in the medical field. And here's another thing. As far as social interaction, there is an art and science of social interaction. Maybe it's more of an art, but I have to admit, there is probably a science to it as well. So let's say you have people out there who are telling people, those who struggle with making friends, dating, they will say, go out there, just go out there and don't care what anyone thinks. Just go out there, talk to people as much as you can. Go to meetups, do new hobbies, get therapy, do hours and hours of therapy, social skills coaching, life coaching. Yet, despite all those attempts, let's say you do everything that people tell you to do, but yet you still fail. Maybe there is some underlying variable or variables that scientists, psychologists, therapists, social skills coaches, life coaches have been overlooking. And maybe through data scientists, machine learning, artificial intelligence, we will uncover those variables and maybe shed some light onto why people fail to make new friends or why fail to find themselves in an intimate relationship. What can we do to help those that maybe are perceived as ugly? What can we do? Maybe design an algorithm or an interface and maybe give recommendations on cosmetic surgery or maybe what to wear for clothing or how to style their haircuts, whatever it may be. There is probably some hidden variables that we have overlooked when it comes to the science of successful social interaction. And it does make the situation even worse when you have depression and anxiety. It's not going to help. But even those who do have depression and anxiety, some people out there with those conditions still have friends. But another situation that kind of comes up is oftentimes people who do have such PTSD, depression, or anxiety will oftentimes push away those that care about them. So that's another issue. But also, how can we help people overcome addiction? How can we keep depression and anxiety from relapsing? Because I feel like depression and anxiety is not something you can cure. I think once you have it, it's pretty much finding ways you can cope with it or to keep it from occurring at a more severe, rate. So, or to have it keep it from becoming more of a consistent, major depressive disorder. So, I mean, I'm sure data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence is going to be playing key roles in the field of psychology, in the medical field. It's obviously playing a big role in businesses, business intelligence, marketing, marketing strategies, cybersecurity. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's the sky's the limit when it comes to this career field. And so that's what's giving me hope because, like I said, going back to the description of my roommate, here it is. I'm thinking, oh, this guy's, a complete loner, doesn't really have any friends. We're both unemployed. And 2 weeks ago, somehow, miraculously, he manages to find himself a girlfriend, despite all these social distancing measures. 2 weeks ago, after being unemployed, he manages to go out there and find himself a girlfriend. Now, how did he do it? I have no idea. My strongest guess is because my roommate owns a dog, he might have been walking his dog at a local park or the beach. And I'm sure this girl probably came up to him and be like, wow, that is such a cute dog. And next thing you know, they start conversating and voila, they get each other's number. And whether or not my roommate's girlfriend has a pet or not, I'm not sure. But people are going to probably be commenting. They're going to be like, Donnelly, maybe you just need to get yourself a dog or get yourself a pet. Now, here, the thing with that is, if I'm going to own a pet, I don't want to be owning a pet living with random roommates or in such a small apartment complex. Now, having my own place, especially if I can somehow get myself established in this new career field of data science, get my own place, have a nice yard, then owning a pet might be one of the wisest decisions. Looking at a good pet, like a good dog that I can, exercise with, go on adventures with, play frisbee with, catch with, take it on a walk, run, take it to a local park, whatnot. Then that's an option. But until then, I kind of have to deal with the situation that I'm in right now, and that is being unemployed. I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. So it looks like I'm going to be getting out of this situation a lot sooner than anticipated because, in all honesty, I don't think I could make it till August, the beginning of August in this current living situation, especially now that my roommate brings home, my roommate is bringing home his good, pretty much, I think she lives here now. It's like I feel like she lives here now, and that's against the policy of the apartment, but really the apartment doesn't really care. As far as the apartment says, people can still have guests over, get-togethers, but yet that's going against social distancing measures. So the complex can kiss my butt. I mean, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I can't afford to pay my rent. They're going to evict me. So what? I've been homeless before. Granted, it was only 2 weeks, and that was back when I was 19 years old, but I have been homeless before. And I have no problems being homeless again, even though it will suck. It will be probably cold at times, and it's going to be for a longer duration because traveling back to see my folks is pretty much out of the question until we get more of a handle on this pandemic. And I don't want to risk traveling, catching the disease, and then putting my family at greater risk. So there's a good chance I could be homeless for a lengthy duration, but I will continue to pursue my studies because right now I'm spending about 4 to 6 hours a day coding, practicing math, and working on projects. And as a matter of fact, if you have made it to this part of the blog, my next video is I am going to be doing a tutorial on multiplying matrices. You heard it right here, firsthand. I will be doing a full-on tutorial on how to multiply matrices. Now, how well I do, I don't know, but I've been watching tutorial videos on people with strong math backgrounds, and I learned to multiply matrices watching this other video, and he did 2 to 3 examples, and it took him about 17 minutes with no mistakes. Now, that's pretty good. I mean, you got to consider these people have math backgrounds. They have a strong background in math. They've got really good handwriting, and they can really describe their content thoroughly to make it easy for others to understand. But nonetheless, being that I'm going into this career field that has a strong math component to it, I feel like it's important that I really be able to explain things to people out there who may have a non-technical background. So I might as well start getting practice with it. So I will be making a tutorial. My next video is going to be making a tutorial multiplying matrices. So now that I'm in this living situation where I have to stare in the face that thing that triggers a lot of sadness, unworthiness, hopelessness, is the fact that I'm looking and I can hear my roommate next door every time they giggle, they're laughing with one another, they're even making out. I can hear it, and it's just making me have dark thoughts. Every time I hear them interacting, it's making me think, I really must be ugly. The reason why I don't have a girlfriend is because, I'm just unworthy, or I'm a loser, or this or that. And I keep getting those dark thoughts consistently. So it's making this living situation a lot more unbearable. So guess what? The apartment complex wants to evict me. Have at it. And so what will happen once I do start sleeping in my car? Well, I'll continue to do my studies. Hopefully, coffee shops will open back up. I'll be able to go to the local gym, get my shower. I'll be studying at the coffee shop. I'll be doing some of my studies at the gym. I'll be doing my studies at the laundromat. So, and then when I'm done after 46 hours, I'll find myself a pull-out spot in a mountain area, charge up my computer, put in a DVD, watch a movie, and call it a night. And then do the same thing the next day. And here's another little update is I'm not going to be moving to Denver, Colorado, because obviously I don't have the financial means to do so. So I'm going to be doing my master's in data science online. I'm going to be doing it online. It's the exact same degree program. And what's really cool is if I do get in a better financial situation over the next couple of years, I think I remember being told that I could do up to 3 courses on campus. So if I do have an improved financial situation, I can do up to 3 courses on campus, which is pretty cool. So that's something to look forward to. I'm still going to be able to pursue my degree in master's in data science. But as far as kind of like my psychological and emotional well-being right now, let's just say that after kind of describing how data science is such a powerful field right now, I'm kicking myself in the butt right now. And to give you guys another video idea that I'm actually going to do, as soon as it's safe to do so, and as soon as we're able to get closer to one another, I am going to make a video. It's going to be a very quick video, but because I can't really kick myself in the butt because I don't really have good flexibility, I really want to kick myself as hard as I can in the butt for having chose a degree in exercise science 7 years ago. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have someone film me, kick me in the butt as hard as they can. I'm going to be like, I want you to kick me in the butt field goal style. I want you to just like come up to me and imagine you're trying to kick the winning field goal in a Super Bowl game, and I'm going to film it. And I am having someone kick me in the butt as hard as they can for having me chose the wrong degree field 7 years ago. And so that's another idea that I'm going to do for a video, and I think it's going to be titled 46-year-old has someone kick him, give him a 46-year-old has someone kick him in the butt for choosing the wrong degree. So that's another thing I'm doing. So what else must I say? Well, of course, I'm feeling trapped. Can't really see family. Don't really have any social interaction with anyone. Obviously, because my social circle was small to begin with, don't really have one to really interact with other than my mom and aunt. So the loneliness is real. I'm having to stare in the face my desires for intimacy that are probably not going to happen. I'm having to stare that in the face. So if anything, probably one of the best things that can potentially happen is if they do evict me. Well, guess what? I'm no longer have to be having those dark thoughts about being an undesirable man out there. So That's one positive thing about being evicted. So my days are numbered in this complex, and they're numbered in the city I'm living at right now. So this depression and anxiety is taking a firm grip on me, and this COVID-19 is not really helping out all that much. It's making it worse. So hopefully, hopefully we can get through this sooner than later. But until then, the struggle continues. And so, on a positive note, my next video, multiplying matrices. And I hope all of you out there are staying safe, are keeping an eye on your family members, and really keeping an eye out on those who are at high risk. Do your part, do your social distancing. And for all of you out there who are not used to it, just remember that it's important to, once we lessen these guidelines and people can socially interact at close range again, just remember to not take for granted the friendships that you have, the hugs that you're able to give your friends on a weekly or daily basis. Do not take that for granted, because there are many of those out there who, even before this pandemic's strike, a lot of us were already used to social distancing. So that's my blog on dealing with this social distancing, social isolation, and loneliness during this COVID-19 pandemic. I'm going to kind of take advantage of while my roommate's not here, get back to my coding practice, mathematical skills practice. And I once again thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with more. Peace out.